Hello everybody and welcome back to eSailGP, the world's fastest virtual sail racing. I'm your host, Shay Thompson, and it is so good to be back. To catch you up on anything you may have missed, MCES Pepito won the Plymouth Qualifier Final and GRE LDLN won the Aarhus Qualifier Final. Leo is also back from the Olympics, so we will be saying hello to him too. Before we jump into all the action we have planned for today, here's Deja Vu, who has also qualified for our grand final, here with some tips and tricks.
Hi, I'm Mike O'Donovan. I'm the 2020 eSailGP champion. I'm here to take you through some of the tactics that players should know if you want to avoid those penalties and improve manoeuvres around the mark. The most important rule to consider when approaching any mark in the race is the mark room rule, Rule 18. This rule deems that if there is an overlap, the boat on the outside has to give way to the boat on the inside. This rule applies from 3 boat lengths from the mark, as indicated by the circle around it in the game. This means that the key consideration on approach is checking if there's an overlap with any other boat. In a fleet, when approaching the first mark, it's really important to position yourself on the inside of the turn. This is so you can take it as you like and not have to take a longer course around anyone inside you. Think carefully and get yourself around that mark as clean as possible. For the upwind marks, especially with other boats close by, it's really important to try and approach on starboard. As on port, you won't have right of way. This usually leads to taking a left-hand turn. The downwind marks have a bit more nuance to them, and so it's much more important to start considering your options early on the downwind leg. It's important to be thinking about your speed and your approach to the mark as well. The phrase in wide, out tight is key, and it can gain you lots of positions. Be on the lookout for other boats coming in on the inside line that might stop you going to the mark you want to. It's always a good idea to approach a mark on starboard so that all the rights are in your favour. This way, if there's another boat approaching, you won't have to avoid them and you can take the optimal route around the mark. Everyone can make a good plan, but the best players can adapt to the boats around them and come up with a new plan in seconds. This ability comes from practice and experience. It's important not to be afraid to get things wrong, as otherwise you won't have anything to learn from.
And there you have it, some very useful tips if you'd like to improve your own game. And if you'd like to have a go at the game yourself, you can. Search Virtual Regatta Inshore on the App Store or Google Play Store, and very soon you'll be skippering your own EF50. Right, I think it's time now to bring on our commentators for this event. I want to welcome back Leo and Tim. Hello guys, it's so great to have you back.
Hey Shay, how you doing? It's great to be back. We're in Saint-Tropez at the moment, and today's our first sailing here as well. So we're looking forward to having this and then going on the water straight after.
Yeah, no, good to see you, Shay. Yeah, back again after the Toronto eSailGP, and looking forward to commentating this round as well.
Absolutely. And Leo, how was Japan?
Yeah, Japan was awesome. It was a very cool experience, but I was watching the Toronto and the Plymouth events, and I was itching to get back out on the water in the F50. So here I am back with the team, and very excited.
It's good to have you back.
Thanks,
Love to see it. And Tim, so at the moment, Japan are 3rd on the points table. How are you guys planning to bring it all back and win it all?
Yeah, well, that's a mission that we're out to kind of achieve, and we have a goal to win, and we're going to do everything we can to get there. So, Saint-Tropez, here we come.
Awesome. Well, I'm keeping my fingers and my toes crossed for you both. In the meantime, let's get back to it. I think it's time to meet our players who will be taking part in the Saint-Tropez Qualifier Final. From Sweden, we have IPT Rimmel. We have 2 Italian competitors, MCES Filippo and MCES Pepe. We also have 2 French competitors, MCES Sinjid and MCES Tanguy 2232. From Spain, we have UOLC Parejo. From the Czech Republic, we've got VIT Bairi. And finally, from the UK, we've got VIT Farley. Right, very strong competition we have. I'm going to throw to you guys, Leo and Tim. Time now for the first of our fleet races. Take it away.
Okay, 13 seconds to go, and they're lining up for the start. We see all the competitors, jockeying for a position right now. Where's looking strong right now, Leo?
Yeah, well, it looks like the middle of the start line is very strong at the moment, looking at the angle to the windward mark. And we see the start. We see a French boat with a very good start of windward end, but they get a penalty straight away. So very bright pink boat in picture as well. Last place right now, but
the first in the passion contest.
Exactly. And we see MCES Filippo in first place from Italy, with the Czech Republic team boat second place. It's going to be really tight at this bottom mark, but the breeze looks quite light to me.
Yeah, it looks like there could be a little bit more breeze on the left-hand side looking upwind, and it looks like that's where they might be going, taking the splitting actually on it. So Filippo is actually leading the charge by heading towards that left-hand side. Where do you think is going to be strong there?
Well, it was actually quite interesting to me because it seemed like the Czech Republic guy did really well to set up for that split, and Filippo from Italy actually overlaid the mark and had to take the other mark. So the race is on actually, but we see still the Italian boat just with a slight lead. And looks like they're all heading towards the right-hand side, which must be favoured.
Yeah, it does look like that the wind's gradually shifting towards that direction. You can tell from the little red flags that's in that mini map over there, but there's obviously that better pressure by the looks of it on the left-hand side. You can see the dark water over there. It's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top, but no one's really gone towards that left-hand side, so perhaps that shift's a lot stronger than what we might think.
As you say that, we see the boats tacking onto starboard tack, and you see the white boat on the very top left of your screen on starboard. They're on the ley line now. The breeze has shifted to the right, so the boats are able to come and do one more tack and go around the top mark on the right-hand side. We see Filippo from Italy first place, Czech Republic, VIT Berry in second place. Very slender lead though, and the British boat, actually third place. They come back from fourth to third now, so very good race from him.
Yeah, lots of movement going on. Oh, gee, look at that Swedish boat, the one that you were jockeying for. Just dropped a few places then. That's no good for you, Leo. But the Italian team right now, 200 meters ahead. I mean, that's a big lead, but you know, in this kind of racing, it's so easy to lose that with one mistake. You make one wrong shift and the race is right back in it.
And it's all on. We see MCS Pepito from Italy in fifth place on your screen there. He's a few hundred meters behind the leaders, and we see a very close drive by the French, just ramming it in there. And we switch back to Filippo from Italy, rounding the bottom mark in first place with a 150-meter lead, which is pretty solid.
What would you do if you were Berry here? Would you have gone further towards the boundary instead of tacking just where he did on the mark, or would you have done what he's just done and headed towards that right-hand side again?
Well, yeah, Filippo is just running away with the lead. So for me, the Czech Republic sailor, the gamer has to just do everything he can to keep the second place. You know, there's still 2 more races to go. So if I were him, I'll be consolidating the second and making sure I keep the second and keep myself in the points.
In the hunt. Yeah, so in the top 3 right now, we have the Italian Filippo. We got second, who's the Czech Republic sailor, Berry, and then the United Kingdom sailor, Farley. So that's our top 3 right now, and they're looking pretty strong. Fourth place is about 60 meters behind the third place boat. So, I mean, you could say it's pretty comfortable at this point right now, but anything can change at this point. We've got a little bit more pressure again on that left-hand side, but a little bit of a right shift. So it's a bit of a trade-off, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's quite interesting. The 2 French teams are coming second to last and last in this one. They didn't really start very well, and it seems like the guys in the front have just taken off without them. So it'll be really interesting to see how they can bounce back from this one. But it's all Filippo, MCS Filippo at the top mark, coming in on port tack. One more leg down to the middle mark, but we have a penalty.
We have a penalty from the Czech Republic. Did you see what happened there, Leo?
No, I didn't actually, but it seems like it was he tacked right in front of Farley and French.
No.
So he's going to drop a few points there, and it's Farley who comes into second place, and IPT Rommel.
And IPT Rommel, Sweden, third place. And they've got one more jog coming up, so it's going to be hard to make an overtake here. You kind of got to play the rules at this point, so it's going to be tricky for them to create a situation. But coming into that bottom mark, we got Farley, who's currently in second place, and Rommel in third place, and that looks like how it might finish now, Leo.
And that's it. Wow, it's a massive disaster for that Czech Republic gamer. He was second all the way around, and he just decided to give it all away at the last top mark. So he'll be pretty upset with that one. And we see the Spanish boat, the big
beautiful boat,
pink boat, coming in fifth place, and another French boat, Tangi 2232, coming in sixth, and MCS Pepito in seventh, and then MCS Sinjid for France coming into last place.
We got MCS Filippo in first place and VIT Farley in second. What do you reckon, Leo?
Yeah, well, great race. Farley was a consistent second place. It's a good way to start your event. And here's the stats. Filippo in first, great start. He's got the best average speed and the top speed. And VIT Farley, actually, he didn't start very good, but he slowly climbed his way up the ranks. And that's what you want to do. You know, you want to have a good start together, and he got a good start with the second place. So he'll be very happy with that.
It would be.
So MCES Filippo takes that very first race. There's quite a few penalties there, Tim. Could you tell me where he managed to cinch that win?
Well, it looks like he got that win off the start, really. I mean, he was first around the first mark, and then he just led the whole way. And at that point, all you have to do is essentially lead the fleet to the favoured side. And it's so hard to overtake from that position. But we did see quite a few penalties, especially towards the end there, where we saw... who was it? Burry, the Czech Republic. He got a penalty. It looked like he tacked too close to Rommel, the Swedish boat, and lost that valued second place and dropped to fourth. So, yeah, it's all on. You know, it's a tricky race, this eSailGP.
Absolutely. And Leo, what do the rest of the fleet need to do in order to, cut down on the penalties and close the gap?
Well, yeah, Shay, it was really interesting because the first race is so important. You can't actually win the regatta on the first race, but you can actually lose it. So, for the guys that finish in the back of the fleet, consistency is very key. They need to get some good races this one. And for the guys that did well in that one, they need to stay at the top, make sure they don't get any big scores, and then they should be sitting pretty for the final.
Sound advice there. So let's check in with our leaderboard really quickly. The MCES Filippo is sitting pretty at the top, and VIT Farley is in second place. But it could all change from here as we head into the second of the fleet races. Leo and Tim, it's all yours.
And here we go, Shay. Thanks for that. We're back for race number 2. 13 seconds to go. There's a few penalties flying around already. Pepito with a penalty. That's not good stuff for him. We see a few French boats in the middle of the line jogging for place. A little bit more breeze this one. 3 seconds to go. And away we go.
Here we go. Oh, it looks like a brilliant start for the Spanish boat, Parejo. Here we go. Coming into the first. He's in the lead there with me, actually. So there's the two of them that it looks like they're coming pretty close. And rounding the first mark, it's Parejo or Farley in first place and then Parejo in second. So it looks like Farley's gone towards that right-hand side looking downwind. He's set up for that left gate. And Parejo might be looking for the split here at this point, do you think? Or
Parejo, bright pink boat, gets a split. So Parejo goes to the right-hand side and Farley will go to the left. So it'll be really interesting to see who is going to get an advantage on this first cross. But Farley looks launched out that left hand, so he's going to take the lead. And Parejo from Spain will be second with Pepito. After that terrible with the penalty, he's going to be back in second place. So it's those little things like that, Timmy, that's going to get you into the final there, just making those comebacks.
Yeah, it just looked like coming into the bottom gate there was a little bit of a left-hand shift and a bit more pressure on that left-hand side, and I think that's where he really picked up his meters there. And so Farley's just sitting quite comfortably, 50 meters in front of second place, who's Tangy, who didn't have a great race the last race. I think he came last in that one. It's good to see this next race. We've got Perez in third place. I'm jockeying for him. I like the colour is. We got Filippo has dropped right back. He's in last place now, 140 meters behind Farley.
Yeah, it's not a good one for him. He won the first race actually, and he's now in 8th place. But we also saw Parejo and actually the Italian boat attack past the boundary, and so they had to kind of come down, bear away, and they lost meters there. But Parejo would be kicking himself. He was sticking around that reach mark, and now he's down to 5th place. So it's not a good one for him. Maybe it's the colour of his boat. It's too bright. Everyone's hunting him down. But it's all VIT Farley, who was second in the first race, and now he's winning the second race. He's got a 50-metre lead in front of the Indy Pepe.
We almost saw a Denmark replay there between us and the British just then, the Port Starboard, the top mark. But it doesn't look like Farley got the penalty for that. So that's good to see. He's still in the lead. They're on the left-hand side looking upwind. There's more pressure there by the looks of it, isn't there, Leo?
Yeah, it looks darker. So you saw Farley, he went around the left-hand gate and he just held on starboard all the way. He's basically paralleling the boundary, which means on starboard jibe was the lower jibe. It was the fastest jibe to sail. And we see another penalty. We see a boundary penalty. We see with the MCS Sinjid taking Pepe out onto the boundary and getting him a penalty. A very aggressive move.
That is a very aggressive move. We saw it right with our eyes. And yeah, so they got that penalty now, and that was against Filippo, and he's just dropped places because of that. And so it's so easy to lose these positions just from getting one penalty, really.
And what's blowing my mind is the leaderboard on our screen here. The bottom 5 just keeps changing. It's how close the racing is. I mean, the top 3, they've got clear win. They've got an ability to be able to do whatever they want. But the bottom 5, they're just fighting each other. They're just, they're fully taking each other out, and it's actually really close. But right now, it's MCS Sinjid from France who's taking 4th place. And that's going to be very crucial points for him if he can keep it.
And it looks like Berry's just snuck into the top 3 there. I'm not sure where he came from. He just popped in there, didn't he?
He did. He came out of nowhere. He snuck right in. He said, hello, I'm going to take 3rd place after getting 4th in the last one. But it's all VIT Fale as they approach the right-hand side. They're on the ley line now, so this will be their last tack. And it's going to be really important for them to get some clear air here because this is the long tack, so you don't want to be in someone's gas all the way to the top of the course.
No, exactly. But it looks like they're all setting up for that right-hand gate at the moment, and they're going to go for that 2 jibes downwind into the finish. And right now, Farley just leading the way, going towards the port ley line there, setting up for that right gate. Looks like he's looking pretty strong to take the win here, isn't he, Leo?
And
you're kidding.
As you
the
say
commentator's
that,
curse.
As you say that, Farley hits the mark, so it's really close. Can Tangi get him? Tangi got some speed. Farley will be sweating now. He's got to hold the lead.
They both got 1 jibe to go here. Farley can't mess up this jibe, otherwise it's going to be game over.
And it's super close as Farley just gets around, and he's going to hold it. So Farley comes in clutch after hitting the penalty. After hitting the penalty, hitting the mark, he makes it super hard for himself, but he comes in clutch and takes the second race with Tangi 2-2-3-2 from France in second. The Czech Republic gamer in 3rd place.
3rd place, that's better than the last race. He came 4th, so that's some consistency there somewhat.
That's the consistency you want to see. That's the kind of consistency that's going to get you into the match race.
But Farley's really the one that's really stood out. He came 2nd in the first race in this race, so he's looking pretty good for that next race, isn't he?
He is, and what a race, 5 minutes and 10 seconds of just action, and it just over like that. But, the points are going to be real close now because, the guys that got, the middle of the fleet, they're all tight.
Yeah, here we go. You can see. So the best average speed was Tangi, who came last in that first race, but he came 2nd in this race. He did very well. You can see Farley, he's consistently up there. And the big movers in this race are Parejo, who went from 1st to 5th. That was a big drop, but you saw he come from last to 3rd. So you can just see how this racing's just changing all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, that's correct, Timothy. And Parejo would be kicking himself. He got the best start. That's what he needed, and he couldn't quite hold it. And, the guys, Farley came in and snatched the lead away from him. So back to you, Shay.
So Farley very nearly losing that race there, but managed to clinch the win the very, very last second, where it mattered. So Tim, do you think he's poised to make it to the final? What should be his plan of attack in the final race?
Well, yeah, he's definitely poised for a good place to make this final. But obviously, like Leo said, it's all about consistency, and you can lose it all with one race, really. So his plan should just be to just get a good result. He doesn't need to win it at this point. He's just got to get a good result just to get him through.
And Leo, talk us through the map and the sailing conditions of Saint-Tropez. What should the players have in their minds as they go into this final race?
Well, yeah, Saint-Tropez, we saw in the first race there wasn't much wind, but in the second one there was a little bit more wind. So I think, they have to, they're probably in the race right now. They have to read the conditions and see where the breeze is shifting. And I think the most important thing is for the gamers in the race is to look at the start line, see which side is favoured, because that makes a massive impact on where you start and how you're going to approach the first mark. And that is where the race is won and lost, we've seen in the last 2 races.
Wise words once again. So that's 2 races down, 1 to go. Let's check in with our leaderboard. So Filippo and VIT Farley are sitting at the top of the leaderboard with only 4 points in it. As we've seen before in this final race, anything can happen. So as we throw to the last of the fleet races, it's all yours, Leo and Tim.
Wow, as you saw the points there, very close, and it's going to be really hard to get to the match race if you're getting penalties, but we already see a penalty for Pepito there. He's going to have trouble wiping it, but it looks like the French boat is going to be coming in hot here to the start line.
And here we go, coming off the start, we got Parejo again, a good start. I think he was first on the start line there. Coming into that first mark, he might be in the lead there with Burry, who's the Czech Republic sailor. Here we go, coming in the first mark. Will we see a jibe coming up in 2? There we go. So right now, we've got the front runner, top 3. We got Parejo, we got Pepito, and we got Burry. They're making up our top 3, and it'll be interesting to see what they do at this bottom gate, Leo.
Yeah, well, you saw that bright pink boat off the start line, first place, and he actually did a really good move at the reach mark. He shut the door on Pepito so he couldn't get inside him, and that was very risky, because if he didn't have the rights, but he took the risk, and now it might be paying off for him as he comes into the tack here. Can he cross those big fleet of starboard tackers? And it doesn't look too good for him right now. He does a very bad tack and couldn't quite get on the foils fast enough, and that's from 1st to 5th right there. He's dropped the 5th place now.
Yeah, you suffer a little bit there when you're locked into a corner, aren't you? Right now we got Pepito, who's taken the lead. He's in 1st place, the Italian sailor. We got Burry, who's having another good race, 2nd place or 3rd. We got Rommel, your Swedish sailor, Leo. He's coming into 2nd place now. It's changing all the time. It's so hard to tell who's in the lead and who's coming 2nd and 3rd.
That's it. We're following Parejo right now, the bright pink boat. He's decided to take a massive punt and go to the right-hand side, and I don't think it's going to work out for him as he tacks, and he's in last place now. So he's going from 1st to last. He's going straight from the penthouse to the outhouse. And here we go. We're following the rest of the fleet. They're on port, and it looks like the sailor Rommel has taken the lead. And it's Pepito following close behind, or I might be wrong, it's the other way around, but it's all Pepito from Italy. He's making a good case to make this final match race, and he's going to round first. What a great ley line.
That's fantastic. But just look at Farley. He's in 7th place. This isn't what he wants right now, and he's trying to make it too difficult for himself. He did a double tack there. Oh no, he's just losing it there. And a penalty as well, is it? Oh, no, sorry.
Tandy's got the penalty.
Tandy got the penalty.
So we have to keep a close eye on Burry here, Czech Republic sailor. He's in 2nd place overall, and he's having a good race this one. And Filippo, who also needs a good race to get into the match race. But Farley, he is the current regatta leader right now, and he's in 7th place. That's the story right now. If he gets 7th, it might be really tough for him to make this final race. So let's see how good he is and how good he is at climbing the ranks.
Yeah, he's really got to bring himself up there. There is a 4-point difference between 1st and 2nd overall right now, with Farley in the lead, obviously. But this isn't what he wants in this situation. He is making it quite difficult for himself. But coming into this bottom gate, we've still got Pepito, we've got Rommel and Burry. They make up our top 3. Which side do you reckon is better, Leo?
Well, it looks like the boats are quite high on starboard at the moment. They're going really high on the boundary, so it seems like that's the favoured tack, and we see the leader, Pepito, at the very top of your screen on the black boat. This is actually the Swedish boat here, but they're really high. They're pointing close to the mark, which means that the starboard tack is favoured, and they're going to do the long tack. So they're going to spend as much time as they can on the starboard tack and try to spend as less time on port. The white boat down there, that tack, they made massive losses on that left-hand side. And here we go, MCS Pepito, the race leader, tacks, and Burry as well from the Czech Republic. He's kind of sick in this one. So that's a very good race for him.
Yeah, he's doing very well, but he can change at any moment. So right now we've got the top 3 heading towards that right-hand side. They're going to be setting up for that left gate by the looks of it. It's going to be coming into the top. There looks like maybe a little bit more pressure on that left-hand side, would you say, Leo?
Yeah, it does, and that's what Pepito's setting up for him. We see a penalty. That BIT Burry tacking too close to the Swedish sailor there and copping himself a penalty, and that's going to cost me because Burry, if you drop down the ranks, you might not make the match race. And we see the pink boat. He's back. He's back. He's in 3rd place. He's come back from last position to 3rd, and you can't help but notice him because of that bright pink boat.
That's just a fairy tale ending for him, isn't it, if he's able to pull off that 3rd place. But Burry, that's the 2nd time he made that mistake where he tacked too close and got the penalty, and you just can't be making those sorts of mistakes in this kind of race.
Exactly. And Pepito.
Pepito!
Oh my God.
Don't you dare do that.
That is disrespect. He does a penalty turn at the end there just to say, wow, I'm on this race by enough.
That takes some serious guts, and it's a big statement, isn't it, Leo?
Yeah, well, that's what I do to you all the time.
Oh, please. Oh, please. Would you be able to tell Nate to do that?
No, I don't think so. But there it is, VIT Farley, who was winning the regatta at 6th place, but I think that'll be enough for him to get through. So it's all about who came in 2nd place and who will qualify for this match race now.
I still think Burry, he could have a chance here.
Well, he was still consistent. He got a 4th, a 3rd, and a 3rd. And we see the stats here. Best start went to Parejo again, but he just couldn't quite get in there. And we see the leg charts. Parejo leading to leg 3, but took a massive drop and then came back to 3rd place, which is very good for him.
And Rommel, he came from 7th place to 2nd, and that's a great, he was building all the time, and he's finished strong. So hopefully,
and Rommel, I don't think he was very strong for that match race, but he'll be very happy with finishing this race. You're only as good as your last race, and Rommel finished 2nd there, so he'll be happy. He'll be keeping his head held high.
That's it. And Farley in 6th place there. That's got to knock your confidence a bit.
Well, especially when you're going into the match race, you'd rather have a good race going into it. And 6th place, it's a little bit different to the match race, but let's see how he can bounce back from it.
So we have MCES Pepe with a fantastic show there. A little bit of showboating at the end, a little bit of taunting, which I really appreciate. But sadly, it wasn't enough to make it to the final match race. Instead, we have Farley and VIT Berry, who are making it as our finalists. Tim, what do you think of this lineup? I know we wanted both the Pink Boat and Pepe to make it, but what do you think of our 2 finalists at least?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, I think it really epitomizes the fact that you need to be consistent. And Farley got a 2nd to 1st, which are 2 good scores, and then he got a 6th, which wasn't so good, but his average is high. And so with Burry, he didn't get anything special. He just got a 4, 3, and a 3, and he still made it through. So it just goes you to show that there's a lot of consistency that needs to be involved.
Absolutely. Safe and consistent is clearly the way to do it. Leo, time for a prediction. Who do you think is going to take it all and win the whole thing?
Well, Shay, you asked me this question time to
Every time.
I'm not a betting man, but I'd say I'll put my money on Farley. He's won this regatta before, and he's confident. He didn't have a very good last race, but it's a match race now. It's different. It's just 2 boats. Farley, I think he's going to be aggressive, and as long as he doesn't do anything stupid, get any penalties, he should be clear favourite. But you never know. We've seen more stuff before, different stuff before, so it is racing.
It's true. We have seen wilder things happen going into this final match race. So I hope Farley has heeded your words, Leo. So we've got VIT Farley and VIT Berry sitting at the very top of our leaderboard, with Farley sitting with 24 points and Berry sitting with 22 points. They are our finalists. Let's go ahead and catch up with them, see what they had to say. First of all, congratulations to you both for making it this far to our final match race. But Berry, what's your training regimen like?
My training, I train with Arthur, and now we are here sitting. And I spend a lot of time on game. I don't know, maybe I do hundreds races on F50 during all my gaming career. Maybe it's 1 year, and now it's fine. Now I'm in the match race and final race, so I am happy.
Amazing. And Farley, how do you stay motivated to keep training?
I try not to play too much now. I just try and play when I have to for this qualification races, and that kind of keeps me motivated. The team as well kind of keep me going. So, yeah.
And Barry, how did you actually get into eSailGP?
Yeah, I sail a lot. I sail on laser, but not now. Just now I sailing on Beneteau First 40. We have boat on Croatia. And I was on a youth world championship when I was 18 years, and then I choose my study and work career. So I must quit professional sailing.
Very important stuff. Farley, you mentioned your team. How often do you guys train together?
Not that often anymore. We used to a lot, but a lot of the guys, Bart went to the Olympics, Chico's away, doing other things. I've had 2 world championships in real life to do, and Barry's been on holiday, so we haven't been able to meet up that much. But yeah, when we can, we do, and we do some team racing together.
Nice. And Farley, are you planning on attending any upcoming events?
Yeah, so I missed Plymouth actually, but maybe I'll go to Cadiz, or I'm not sure yet. We'll see. If I'm in the area, then yeah.
Awesome. Hope to see you there. And finally, Barry, do you have any tips for any upcoming players?
Tips. The tips. What is the best for F50 only, or on e-sailing overall?
E-sailing, and you know what? Both virtual and out on the waters.
Yeah, I think it's good for training. If you are a sailor, I think it's good for preparing a tactic and strategy on the sea. And I recommend it all the trainers who have some small kids. And the tips on the game, every esport or every game, you must learn all the game. You must play, and then you know everything, and then you must train, and then you can be good. But everything about the knowledge in the game, and it's in this game is fine. That is not necessary to be a young for a good be good, because the speed of fingers or these things like on other games is not necessary.
Some very wise words and some awesome actionable tips there. Thank you so much to you both, and good luck making it this far, and good luck in the final match race.
Okay, thank you very much. Bye.
Cheers, thank you.
While we let them get set up and get into the zone, here's a teaser look at Racing on the Edge, which you can check out on the SailGP Facebook and YouTube pages.
You are not 8 times world champion by coincidence because you are a pretty cool guy.
What are you talking about? I would like to go at this point. And I went, and then you said no.
Let's face it, we have communication problem in our team.
Could be disaster for the French. No! Just Billy, you're going to have to relax, okay? You have to relax.
He wasn't really racing, he was just delivering the boat around the course, really.
This is a guy who's made a habit of winning, and all of a sudden he's lost his mojo. It's crushing for him.
So 3 fleet races have whittled our group of competitors down to 2. We've got VIT Farley from the UK and VIT Berry from the Czech Republic going head-to-head in our final match race. For the last time, I'm handing over to you, Tim and Leo. Take it away.
Thanks, Shay, and we're here with the match race, and we're down to 12 seconds. We see the boats jostling for position, and at the moment it looks like Farley's got the leeward hook. He's got the advantage, and he's pushing Berry back to the line. The boats are early, and it looks like Farley pulled the trigger first. And
here we go. So Berry coming off the line there. Let's see who's in the lead. So Farley ahead, isn't he? 80 metres in front coming into that first gate, and at this point it's just about staying ahead.
And that's the thing, it looks like the fastest angle to the mark was down to the leeward end of the line. He was able to sail, a hotter angle, and Berry just was sailing a low angle, and he just wasn't going fast enough, and that's how the lead grew so far. So Farley's got an 82 metre lead. Timmy, what are you going to do from here to keep your lead?
Yeah, well, it looks like there might be a little bit of a right shift coming into here, but at this stage, you just got to be in control of the person behind. So you see Farley tacking on the mark there. He's just following Berry at this and just trying to make sure that he's covering him at all times.
And you see Burley did a different kind of tactic there. He went fast around the mark. He went wide and fast, so you could get a little bit of a bow forward advantage and get attacking. And now it just looks like Farley's just going to go to the boundary and tack, and Berry is just struggling here because he had to do an extra tack to get around the boundary, and Farley's just making a good extension here.
He is, isn't he? He's just leading Berry towards that starboard ley line, but you see the wind just shifting a little bit to the left there. You can see that ley line just moving further and further away from Farley. It'd be interesting to see if he's actually able to lay from this point, but at the same time, he's also covering Berry, isn't he?
He is, and Berry goes for attack, and right now it's hard for him because the boundaries are just dictating where the boats go right now, and Berry has no choice but to follow Farley because they're on the left, and so if you're on the left, you don't want to be sailing the knock, and if the guy in front sailing the left, all you can do is follow as the boat behind.
Exactly.
What we do in the F50s is we kind of just have to follow and sail the left and hope for the boat in front to make a mistake, and when the levels is high, boat in front, they're not going to make many mistakes. So it's a
Yeah.
tough race for old Burry, but you can't give up. Can't give up.
Exactly. I mean, we have seen Farley make a mistake before where he touched that mark when he was in the lead, and it didn't cost him the lead, but it definitely can cost you the lead.
Exactly.
So
But you're 200 meters in front. Farley, surely don't make mistakes.
I have faith in you, Barry. You can do this. I'm telling you.
I thought we weren't taking sides.
Hey, you chose Farley. So I've got to back my Czech Republic friend. So Burry, here we go. Come on. Coming into this gate, what would you do?
Well, it looks like taking the left-hand gate, looking upwind, and Burley's got no choice but to follow and attack right behind him. He's on the left attack. It's all you can do. The lead's gone down to 85 meters though, so some good maneuvers by Czech Republic. And it looks like the window's shifting to the left, so these boats are setting up to go back out to the left. No, we see a penalty.
Here we go.
And there it is. That's the first mistake. Farley has got a boundary penalty. He went over the boundary, and now Czech Republic is going straight to the He's going straight to the left-hand side, which is favoured, but the race is still on. It's still on. Close.
All Burry needs is just a bit of a left shift, just so Farley just goes further and further on his line, and then he's right back in at 8 meters. 8 meters. What would you do if you're a Farley at this point?
Well, you're Farley, you have to make sure that you tack on Burry right on his face so he can't escape anywhere. Give him some bad wing wash, and that's what he's going to do. There he goes. Farley's right on top, and the race is on, Timmy.
The race
Burry
is
puts
on.
the bow down to try and get clear air, but Farley is just giving him nothing.
There's no wiggle room there, is there, Leo? Farley's just sitting right on top of Burry, and he's just giving him all that dirty air. It's just no good for him at this point. And coming into what could be the final tack here.
Oh, and Farley, he's just, it's a masterclass to me. He got a penalty, he regrouped, he tacked right on him, and gave him no wiggle room to try and get past. And there he goes into the dive.
There he goes.
The last leg before the rounding mark into the finish. And Farley's got an 80 meter. He's grown his lead again, but it looks like there's good breeze where Burry is right now.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way. It'll be interesting to see after this drive what happens. But actually, it looks like Farley's got that lead that's well in front. Maybe not enough to do some showboating, but enough to get the race.
Not quite enough as Farley rounds the last mark into the finish. It's a blast reach to the finish now. And VIT Farley, he got a second in the first race, a first in the second race. And he didn't do very well in the last race, but he capped it off with the win in the match race.
Congratulations.
VIT Farley, congrats, mate. You've won the Saint-Tropez eSailGP competition. And VIT Burley, you were consistent the whole way around, but you just couldn't quite get it done. Better luck next time, buddy.
That's all right. Commiserations, but well done, both competitors.
Wow, what a race. What a race.
Well, still have faith in Burry, but just that boundary, it just creeps up on you, doesn't it? The boundary,
and you want to cut it close because you want to save tax. But there you go, VIT Farley with the better start, the better angle, and he led the race from start to finish.
So VIT Farley wins our Saint-Tropez qualifier final. He had a bit of a bumpy race there, it wasn't smooth sailing at all, but he managed to work really hard for his win. Leo, do you think he has what it takes to win the grand final?
Well, I mean, I've seen VIT Farley race before, and he's actually, I've seen him race against the current champion, Deja Vu, and I think he actually won against Deja Vu, so he's definitely got what it takes. He just needs to make sure he minimizes those little mistakes he does. He hit the mark in one of the races, and he got a boundary penalty in that last one. And if you're racing guys like Deja Vu, they're going to pounce and they're going to make you pay for it. So if he can minimize those little errors, maybe he wasn't watching the screen and he just had a mind blank. But if he can get rid of those, he's going to be looking very strong.
I'll definitely ask him about any external errors that may have contributed to that later on when I catch up with him. Tim, what impressed you the most about this race?
Yeah, I think just the level of racing is so high. I mean, we still do see mistakes, so there's obviously still room for improvement. But at the same time, I mean, the top boats are just so consistent, and it's so hard to make that final two to be able to enter the match race, and to make it that far is so impressive.
Absolutely. Certainly some great sailing there. I want to thank you both for all of your insight that you gave us today. And I want to, release you so you can go back and train. What's on the roster for today, guys?
Yeah, today we're just putting our high-speed boards in now. It's some good forecast out in the Bay of Saint-Tropez. So we're getting our high-speed boards in, and then we're going to launch the boat and go out for some practice racing against all the other teams. It should be really fun.
That's it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again, guys, and good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Thanks so much,
Thanks,
Shay.
Shay. Thanks for having us.
Congratulations, Farley, on winning. Finally, you've gotten so close, but you finally managed to get it. How does it feel winning that race?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I just got the better of him on the start, and yeah, from there it was pretty easy. Apart from when my cat decided to distract me on the last upwind, and I'm not going to say what he did, but yeah, he managed to make me hit the boundary, so we made for a tight race at the end. But yeah, still, it was a good race.
Oh no, your cat giving you some real life obstacles to have to maneuver and overcome. So how is it racing in these virtual boats?
Yeah, it's difficult, especially this one. If you take your eye off the ball for 1 second, you can easily make a mistake, and that was pretty close to Barry catching me up again. So, but yeah, he did a really good job.
Awesome. So what's next for you? Any more competitions? More training?
So I have lots of real life sailing to do. I sail the laser in real life. So I have the Senior European Championships and Worlds in November, and also the eSailing World Championships in November as well, the start of November. So
sounds like you've got a lot on your plate. So good luck with everything you've got going on, and cannot wait to see you in the grand final.
All right, cheers. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. So some very strong competitors this time around. It's going to be a great tournament. That's it from me, your host, Shay Thompson. To keep up with all things SailGP, make sure you're following on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Make sure you're subscribed here on YouTube. This is it from our Saint-Tropez qualifier final. Next time we'll be in Cadiz for our next qualifier final before the grand final event itself. That's it from this evening. To play us out, here is a teaser for the upcoming event this weekend. See you next time.
SailGP is underway here in Bermuda. Big issue in the middle of the fleet here. Very late to manoeuvre, and he's collided with the US crew. It's Sir Ben Ainsley shutting the race down. They are the winners here in Bermuda. The first Italian Sail Grand Prix. Could be disaster for the French. No room. You have to relax. The Americans are going Jimmy nowhere Smith fast. Stop. He looks like he's broken down, Todd. Japan SailGP that comes back to Italy and gets the big victory. So let's kick off race 1 for the Great Britain Sail Grand Prix.
This is the umpires. Spain, you have been black flagged in the race.
Goes from being Houdini to black flagged.
What a way to bounce back from last in Taranto to first in Plymouth.
Day 1 started with a bang when the Spanish team suffered a major structural failure to their dagger board. It was game over for the day. Right, Benassi, look at the speed, 98 kilometers an hour as he bore away at mile 1 there. That's nearly 50. Oh, they've lost it, they've gone too high.
The Americans are capsizing. Oh, my goodness.
Team USA almost puts it over. Can they save it? Oh, he spot the wing too late. Denmark claiming the win in front of the home crowd.
This is the umpires. Penalty, GBR.
The Australians get the win. Congratulations, Australia SailGP, for the victory in Aarhus.